Hey man, if you're trying to make her miss you, you've already lost the frame. Because the moment you start strategizing on how to get a reaction, you're admitting that she still has emotional control over your sense of worth. You're not trying to make her miss you, you're trying to make yourself feel significant again. And that's where most men destroy their power. You can't make a woman miss you through absence if that absence is filled with desperation. You can't fake detachment when your mind still revolves around her. She'll feel it energetically. Women can sense when a man is pretending not to care, and it repels them instantly. What makes a woman truly miss you is not distance, it's transformation. It's when your absence isn't a tactic but a shift, when you stop being the man who needed her and become the man who doesn't need anyone. Let's be honest, every man has been there. You go silent, you hold back, you stop texting, not because you're over her, but because you're trying to manipulate emotion. You want her to think about you, chase you, or at least wonder where you've gone. But deep down, you're still tethered. You're just waiting for the result. You're still reacting to her, even when you're doing nothing. That's not power, that's passive desperation. You see, women don't miss men who are playing games. They miss men who grow while they're gone. They miss the energy that feels different when they see you again. The quiet composure, the new sense of purpose, the upgraded aura that doesn't seek closure. It's not the silence that hits them, it's the evolution that happens during it. That's when they start to realize you didn't just pull away, you outgrew the dynamic. When you're trying to make her miss you, you're still orbiting her emotionally. Every move you make, every post you create, every silence you hold, it's still a reaction to her existence. And that's exactly how she stays in control. The only way to truly shift that dynamic is to stop trying to affect her and start affecting yourself. You have to rewire the part of you that still believes love equals chasing validation. Real power begins when your attention shifts inward, when your silence isn't cold but peaceful, when your distance isn't manipulative but purposeful, when you stop viewing separation as a loss and start seeing it as a sacred rebuild. That's when she begins to sense something deeper, that you're no longer playing her game, and that realization will haunt her far longer than any no contact ever could. See, when a man truly moves on, not emotionally detached as an act, but grounded in genuine contentment, the feminine energy he once chased begins to chase him. It's not a mystery, it's psychology. Women are drawn to the emotional polarity of a man who no longer seeks validation. When she sees that her silence doesn't disturb you, that her absence didn't break you, and that her attention no longer defines your peace, it triggers something primal inside her. Because women are wired to test for strength, to search for emotional stability in men, and nothing communicates strength more clearly than your ability to exist beautifully without her. The paradox is, when you finally stop caring if she misses you, she starts missing you, not because of you, but because of the peace she feels when she remembers you. Most men think they need to do something to make her miss them, change their look, post subtly, ignore strategically, or show up mysteriously. But the truth is, everything you do out of need is transparent. It gives away your frame. A woman doesn't miss the man who tries to appear strong. She misses the man who became strong for real, the one who built something without her, the one whose silence feels heavy, not because it's calculated, but because it's rooted in purpose. You don't need to make her wonder where you are. You need to be somewhere worth being. Stop using distance as punishment. Use it as rebirth. When your silence has meaning, when your solitude has mission, when your energy radiates focus, she'll feel it, even without seeing you. That's how real absence becomes unforgettable. The hardest truth to accept is this: she won't start missing you while you're waiting for her to. Missing requires contrast. She has to see what life feels like without your energy, and that only happens when you genuinely pull that energy away. Not temporarily, but indefinitely. You can't pause your life hoping she'll notice your silence. You have to start living again differently. The man who becomes obsessed with being missed lives in limbo. The man who outgrows the need for it lives in freedom, and freedom is magnetic. When she realizes she's not the emotional center of your world anymore, when she sees your peace isn't tied to her response, that's when the discomfort begins to sink in. She doesn't just miss your presence, she misses the feeling of being important to someone she couldn't control. Here's what no one tells you: women don't miss men because of emotional manipulation. They miss the feeling they had when they were around them. It's never about your face, your texts, or your words. It's about your energy, that calm confidence, that grounded presence, that sense of direction. That's what lingers. That's what makes her scroll through old messages wondering how she lost it. And that's what you rebuild when you stop trying to force it. Your job isn't to remind her what she lost. It's to become the kind of man who never needs to remind anyone of anything. Because when you walk in strength, people remember you without trying. When you lead yourself, others follow subconsciously. That's the real psychology of attraction. Internal transformation, not external strategy. You have to understand something vital. Her mind can't truly miss you until her emotions stop feeling your pursuit. Right now, if you're still trying to prove your worth through absence, she still feels your energy chasing. She knows you're out there waiting for her to react. That's why nothing shifts. But when your energy goes cold, when your soul stops orbiting her and returns to its axis, everything changes. She starts feeling your absence as a loss, not as a pause. Because your energy used to feed her ego, but now it's fueling your growth. She no longer feels powerful when she thinks of you. She feels unsettled, because you were once her mirror, reflecting her desirability. Now, you've become a reminder of everything she undervalued, so stop trying to be mysterious. Stop pretending you've moved on when your heart is still begging for her return. That contradiction weakens your aura. Real mystery doesn't come from avoidance, it comes from evolution. You become mysterious when you stop being predictable, when you stop showing up where she expects you, emotionally or physically. When you stop explaining, stop proving, stop seeking closure. You're not a mystery because you're distant. You're a mystery because you're becoming someone new. That's what creates gravity. That's when she looks at your life and realizes she no longer knows who you are anymore. That's the seed of curiosity that grows into longing. Not because you pulled away, but because you transformed while she stayed the same. And this is what you must understand about feminine energy. It's magnetized, not by distance, but by dominance of self. When a man fully owns his life, his vision, his peace, women feel that. They can sense it even from miles away. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. It's that quiet confidence that comes from no longer trying to control outcomes. That's the energy that creates obsession, not because you're withholding love, but because you've mastered the art of not needing it. You've become emotionally independent in a world where everyone's starving for attention, and that makes you rare. So stop forcing her to miss you. Start mastering your silence, because the man who's truly at peace doesn't need to be remembered. He simply becomes unforgettable. When you stop forcing her to miss you, something powerful happens. You begin to reclaim your time, your focus, and your emotional energy. That energy you used to waste, analyzing her every move, it begins to build momentum inside you. You start noticing things again, how quiet the mornings feel, how different you breathe, how clear your thoughts become when you're not glued to your phone waiting for her to respond. That calm, that clarity, it's not weakness, it's restoration. Because the truth is, you were never meant to revolve around someone who couldn't see your value. You were meant to evolve from it. Every ounce of effort you try to give her is energy that belongs back in you, and once you redirect it, your whole presence changes. You walk differently, think differently, speak differently, not because you're pretending to be fine, but because you actually are. You see, the mistake most men make is thinking that women miss attention. They don't. They miss energy. They miss how your presence used to ground them. They miss the stability they felt when they knew you were around. And when that energy disappears, it leaves a void they can't fill with temporary distractions. But this doesn't happen when you're still orbiting them emotionally. It only happens when your detachment becomes genuine, when your focus shifts completely toward your purpose, your peace, and your growth. Because purpose is what makes you magnetic. A man immersed in his vision doesn't need to make anyone miss him. His absence naturally becomes powerful because his presence is rare. When you disappear into your grind, she'll feel the absence of your energy long before she realizes why it hurts so much. You have to understand this. Women can't feel your loss until your life stops revolving around them. If you're still watching her stories, still reacting to her silence, still checking her last scene, she can sense that energy. You're feeding her power even when you're gone. The only way to make her truly feel your absence is to create distance in vibration, not just communication. She has to sense that she's no longer in your mind, not even as a memory you nurture, because that's when she realizes something's different. It's not that you blocked her, it's that you forgot to check. It's not that you stopped calling, it's that you stopped caring. That energetic gap is what makes her anxious, because she's not used to being emotionally disconnected from someone she once controlled. You don't have to act cold or heartless, just become so consumed in your evolution that you no longer have space for her games. When your life becomes filled with purpose, distractions lose their grip. You'll notice her name doesn't trigger the same emotions anymore. The idea of proving your worth feels childish. And that's when true power begins, when you stop needing revenge, validation, or closure, because peace is the ultimate revenge. The silence of a man who's healed is louder than any message he could ever send. When she sees that you've become emotionally bulletproof, that you don't flinch when she disappears, that you don't chase when she tests, her curiosity will grow into obsession. Not because you manipulated her, but because you became the man she always assumed she could break and failed to. Let's make something clear. Your goal was never to make her miss you. Your goal was to master yourself. The reason she no longer respects you isn't because you loved her too much, it's because you lost yourself in the process. The day you stop trying to make her miss you is the day you stop abandoning yourself. That's the shift. You stop centering your decisions around her attention and start building around your own legacy. You wake up earlier, eat cleaner, hit the gym harder, focus longer. You stop checking your phone first thing in the morning and start checking your goals. Every habit that used to revolve around her now becomes about you. And with time, something strange happens. Her memory begins to fade, and your purpose begins to take shape. That's how men are reborn, not through getting her back, but through getting themselves back. When a man reaches this level of detachment, his entire presence transforms. He no longer speaks from insecurity, but from calm authority. His eyes carry peace, not pain. His silence isn't defensive, it's disciplined. And women feel that deeply. They're drawn to it because it's so rare in a world full of emotional chaos. Most men speak to be understood, but a grounded man listens, observes, and moves only when necessary. That restraint is magnetic, because what women crave more than words is stability. They want a man who doesn't crumble under emotion. So if you really want to do something, instead of forcing her to miss you, master stillness. Speak less, react less, focus more. Let your discipline become your language. Let your peace become your presence. That's how she'll start missing you, not because you're gone, but because your silence speaks louder than her noise. Understand this truth. Attraction isn't built through absence, it's built through evolution. Every day you choose not to chase her, you're building something greater, emotional gravity. And emotional gravity pulls everything back to you without effort. But you can't fake it. You can't pretend to be at peace while still obsessing over her next move. You have to genuinely let go. That means accepting that she may never come back and being perfectly okay with that. Because the moment you reach that state, the universe flips. You become the center of your own orbit again. Women sense when a man has reached that point of indifference. It's intimidating. They feel it in their gut because your calmness makes them realize they've lost the power to emotionally move you. That's what triggers longing. That's what makes her question her decisions at 2 a.m., wondering how you became so untouchable. The beauty of detachment is that it rewires your entire sense of attraction. You stop looking for someone to complete you and start valuing those who complement you. You stop falling for beauty and start admiring peace. You stop chasing excitement and start choosing alignment. And this shift doesn't just make women miss you, it changes the kind of women you attract. Because your energy sets your standard. When you radiate self-respect, emotionally unstable women naturally fade out. You'll notice that the games stop, the drama stops, the cycles stop. You'll start attracting women who are calm, secure, feminine, because that's what your energy now allows in. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So stop forcing her to miss you and start becoming the man she can't replace, because he's too rare to find twice. And here's the paradox. The more you focus on you, the more she'll think about you. It's counterintuitive, but inevitable. The moment she realizes that your world didn't collapse without her, that you didn't spiral, that you didn't break, she'll feel something unfamiliar, discomfort. Because in her mind, she was the one who got to decide when you healed. She was supposed to hold that power. But now she's irrelevant to your process. That lack of control ignites curiosity, then confusion, then longing. And while she's replaying your old conversations, you'll be too busy creating new ones with your future. That's poetic justice. When your peace becomes her punishment, because she'll finally understand what she threw away. Not a man who begged for attention, but a man who built himself from silence. So what should you do instead of trying to make her miss you? Evolve in peace. Cut the emotional dependency. Focus on excellence. Elevate your habits, not your hopes. Build a life that's so rich in purpose that no one's absence can starve you. Because the man who stops chasing validation becomes the one everyone silently admires. Don't do it to prove a point. Do it because your soul deserves peace. And when she finally realizes that she no longer lives rent-free in your mind, when she feels your silence not as a tactic but as truth, that's when she'll start missing you in ways she'll never admit. But by then, you won't even care, because you'll have outgrown not just her, but the version of yourself that ever needed her approval. There's something that happens when a man truly stops caring, whether a woman misses him or not. It's subtle at first, a kind of quiet energy shift. You no longer wake up checking your phone, waiting for her message, analyzing her social media. You start waking up with direction. The same energy you once wasted on wondering what she's thinking now goes into becoming the kind of man who never has to wonder again. That detachment doesn't come from bitterness, it comes from clarity. You begin to see how small you made yourself just to keep her comfortable, how much of your masculine presence you sacrificed to avoid losing her. But now you've learned that the only person you were ever in danger of losing was yourself, and reclaiming that version of you, the one with drive, purpose, and stillness, is what makes you powerful again. When she starts to feel that shift, and she will feel it, her entire perception of you changes. Women can sense when the emotional cord has been cut, when you're no longer energetically waiting for her, when your texts don't carry that subtle neediness, when your eyes don't beg for recognition. She notices, and it bothers her, because she was used to your validation. It was her emotional oxygen. Now she's suffocating in silence. She created herself. She'll start replaying everything you said, every time she took you for granted, every time she dismissed your effort, and she'll start to feel that creeping ache of regret, not because you left, but because she realizes she can't reach you anymore. You've moved beyond her emotional frequency, and that's the kind of distance that no message can fix. This is why trying to make her miss you never works, because manipulation operates from scarcity, while transformation radiates abundance. You can't fake self-worth, it has to be rebuilt. Every time you try to play games to get her attention, you're reinforcing her control. But when you genuinely evolve, when your silence isn't a strategy but a sanctuary, she feels that it's in the way you move now. Slower, more intentional. It's in the way you talk, without defending yourself. It's in the way you smile, without trying to impress. Your energy becomes grounded, unshakable. You no longer need to be missed, and ironically, that's when you start to be remembered. Because real power isn't about being wanted, it's about being irreplaceable, and irreplaceability is built through self-mastery, not performance. You start realizing that every woman who comes and goes is just a mirror reflecting your current level of self-respect. When you were desperate, you attracted chaos. When you were needy, you attracted confusion. But now, you're calm, and calm attracts clarity. You stop needing closure from her, because your growth is your closure. You stop waiting for her apology, because peace has already given you one. You start to see that she wasn't the problem, your attachment was. And once that attachment dissolves, you see her clearly. Not as the woman you romanticized, but as the person who forced you to evolve. She becomes the catalyst, not the loss. You no longer resent her, you thank her, because she pushed you into becoming the man who no longer needs to chase love but commands it through energy. You'll notice something interesting the moment you stop chasing, the world starts opening for you. New opportunities, new women, new paths, all appear the second you reclaim your masculine focus. Because nature rewards detachment. It's the law of polarity. The more stable your energy becomes, the more feminine energy gets drawn toward you. But this time, you're not impressed by attention anymore. You've seen what temporary affection looks like. You crave peace, not performance, and that's what makes you rare. When a woman realizes that your presence is no longer easy to access, that your time is guarded, your attention sacred, and your energy selective, she begins to value it in ways she never did before. Because scarcity creates appreciation. And you finally learn that you never have to make anyone miss you. You just have to stop giving yourself away too easily. The reason you struggled before wasn't because you weren't enough. It's because you were too available. You gave her the emotional security that she didn't earn, the validation she didn't reciprocate, and the loyalty she didn't value. When you stop forcing her to miss you, you stop feeding her ego. And without that constant emotional supply, her mind starts to spiral. She starts comparing every man she meets to you, and no one measures up. Because you weren't just a man who loved her, you were a man who saw her fully. That kind of connection can't be replaced by casual attention. But here's the irony. She won't realize that until your energy is gone for good, until she feels that you're not waiting behind the curtain anymore. That's when she'll miss you deeply, silently, and painfully. So instead of trying to make her miss you, make her irrelevant. Not out of hatred, but out of evolution. Start investing in your body, your craft, your dreams. Build something that reflects your discipline. Read more, move more, travel more. Every hour you spend thinking about her is an hour you're stealing from your own greatness. Shift that focus inward, because one day she'll stumble across you, maybe in person, maybe online, and she won't recognize the man she once knew. And that's the greatest revenge of all, when you become so upgraded that she can't even relate to the version of you she once manipulated. You're no longer part of her story. You're the chapter she can't reread without feeling pain. That's the moment you truly win, when your peace becomes the punishment she never saw coming. You'll realize that silence has levels. The first level is tactical. You're quiet because you want her to react. The second level is emotional. You're quiet because you're tired. But the final level is spiritual. You're quiet because you're free. You no longer care if she notices, responds, or regrets. You're done chasing noise, you're building harmony. That's the stage where your energy becomes magnetic. You start carrying a certain gravity. People lean in when you speak. Women look twice when you enter a room, and opportunities seem to find you. Because you've entered a rare vibration, one of calm power. You've stopped trying to prove you're worth it. You know you are. And that quiet knowing creates the kind of presence that lingers longer than any message ever could. Remember this, you don't attract love by chasing it, you attract it by becoming it. The most magnetic men aren't the loudest or the richest or the most charming, they're the most centered. They know who they are, and they don't lose that identity when someone walks away. You were never meant to beg anyone to see your value. Your only mission is to become the highest expression of your own potential, because when you reach that point, everything that's meant for you will find its way, not through effort, but through alignment. Women, money, peace, all flow to the man who no longer runs after them. That's the paradox of attraction. The more detached you become, the more everything you once wanted starts chasing you instead. So stop trying to make her miss you. Stop checking your phone. Stop calculating your silence. Stop living for her reaction. Let her wonder. Let her guess. Let her scroll through your absence, trying to find traces of you. Because what you're building now, peace, purpose, power, is far more valuable than being missed. When a man truly elevates, he doesn't wait for someone to notice. He keeps building, he keeps growing, he keeps becoming the standard, and one day when she realizes what she lost, when she sees the man you've become, she'll finally understand that her absence wasn't punishment for you. It was protection for your evolution, because you were never meant to chase her. You were meant to rise so high that she can't even reach the version of you she once took for granted. When you stop chasing and start living, something almost mystical happens. The same silence that once felt like emptiness starts to feel like strength. You begin to enjoy being unseen. You start to appreciate the peace that comes with solitude, and the things that once felt unbearable, her not calling, her not caring, her being with someone else, start to lose their emotional charge. Because detachment isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about realizing you don't have to. Your worth doesn't fluctuate based on her attention. You are not a temporary distraction waiting to be validated. You are a man rediscovering his center. And when you find that center, you no longer need to chase balance. You are balance. That's when you stop trying to make her miss you. Because now you understand being missed is just a side effect of becoming unshakable. When she sees that you've detached, truly detached, she'll test you. They always do. Maybe she'll like your post. Maybe she'll send a random message. Maybe she'll ask about you through mutual friends. Don't be fooled. This isn't love resurfacing. It's curiosity mixed with ego. She's not wondering if you still care. She's wondering if she still can affect you. That's the true test. And most men fail right there. They respond instantly, give in emotionally, and restart the same cycle that broke them the first time. But not you. You've learned the art of composure. You've learned that silence is your most elegant answer. When you don't react, you communicate something she doesn't expect. Growth. Because silence doesn't mean you're bitter, it means you're beyond explanation. You see, women crave emotional contrast. The same man they once overlooked becomes fascinating the moment he becomes unreachable. It's human nature. Scarcity breeds value. But here's the part most men miss. It's not about making yourself scarce. It's about making yourself so fulfilled that you naturally become less available. You're no longer waiting around to be chosen. You're busy choosing yourself. You start filling your days with purpose, your time with progress, your heart with peace. You're not avoiding her out of spite, you're just too focused to notice, and that's when the balance of power shifts, because while she's wondering if you still care, you're outgrowing the version of yourself that ever did. When she finally feels the absence of your attention, the world she built around ego begins to crumble. She starts realizing how much of her confidence was built around your validation. Every compliment you gave her, every effort you made, it all fed her identity. Now, that emotional supply is gone, and the new guys she's talking to, they don't give her that same sense of safety or admiration. Because they're not you, they might be new, but they're not deep. They might be available, but they're not grounded. She'll try to convince herself she's fine, post the happy photos, tell her friends she's moved on. But behind that performance, something lingers. It's the feeling of losing a man who no longer needs her approval to breathe. That's not just a loss, that's a wound. Here's the truth that hurts her the most. She didn't expect you to survive her. She thought her silence would destroy you, that her withdrawal would make you chase harder. But it didn't. You vanished, rebuilt, evolved, and now your peace is louder than her presence ever was. That's when her regret begins. Not the instant kind that fades in days, but the deep gnawing kind that shows up in quiet moments. She'll remember your patience, your effort, the way you genuinely cared, and it'll hit her that no one else will match that combination of love and strength. But by then, it's too late. You're not the same man anymore. The version of you that would have waited for her, he's gone, replaced by a man who learned that sometimes silence isn't revenge, it's rebirth. You become dangerous when you stop explaining yourself. When you no longer justify your peace, no longer seek validation for your boundaries, that's when people start respecting you. Not because you demanded it, but because your energy commands it. You're no longer playing small just to make others comfortable. You've realized that the right woman will never need you to shrink so she can feel secure. She'll meet your energy, not compete with it. And the wrong woman, she'll fade away the moment she realizes she can't manipulate your emotions anymore. That's why silence is powerful. It's not coldness, it's clarity. You're not ignoring anyone. You're protecting your energy. You're not detached out of pride. You're detached because peace finally feels better than chaos. The version of you that begged, over-explained, and hoped for closure, he died in the silence. What was born in his place is something far more rare, a man who values himself, a man who understands that not everyone deserves access to him. You're no longer available for games, confusion, or half-love. You've learned that real connection doesn't need to be chased, it's mutual, and when that realization clicks, the need to be missed disappears. You no longer crave her regret, you crave your own evolution. That's maturity, that's growth. You've stopped playing emotional tug-of-war with someone who wasn't even holding the same rope. And now, for the first time, your energy is fully yours, again, steady, grounded, unbothered. People always talk about making her regret losing you, but the truth is, the moment you start focusing on making her regret anything, you're still chained to her emotionally. True revenge is success. True power is peace. True freedom is indifference. Because when you genuinely move on, you're not trying to prove anything. You're just becoming the best version of yourself, because that's what your soul was designed to do. And that kind of evolution leaves a permanent mark. One day she'll look back and realize she wasn't the loss you were, and the thought of you being completely fine without her will eat away at her ego in ways you'll never see. But that's not your concern anymore. Your job isn't to punish her, it's to outgrow her. By now, your silence has become your armor, not because you're hiding behind it, but because you've finally learned to master it. It's not a weapon, it's a boundary. You don't use it to manipulate, you use it to protect what you've rebuilt. You've turned solitude into strength, and that strength radiates through everything you do. Your body language, your tone, your decisions. You've stopped waiting for life to happen and started directing it. And as your energy expands, you begin attracting not just better women, but better experiences, better opportunities, better peace. Because the universe rewards discipline. Every time you choose not to react, you're telling life that you're ready for more. And that's exactly when life starts giving it to you. So if you're reading this thinking you need to make her miss you, stop. That's not your mission anymore. You're no longer the boy chasing closure, you're the man who became his own. Let her miss you. Let her scroll through your silence. Let her regret. That's her lesson to learn, not your responsibility to witness. Because the truth is, the moment you stop trying to make her feel something, she'll start feeling everything. And when that happens, you won't need to do anything. You'll already be miles ahead, not in competition, but in consciousness. You didn't lose her, man. You found yourself. And that's the kind of victory no woman can take away. When a man reaches that point where he's no longer reacting, no longer explaining, no longer chasing, everything about him changes. His silence becomes a mirror. It reflects a woman's actions back to her with unbearable clarity. She can no longer hide behind her justifications, her distractions, or her half-hearted excuses. Every time she looks at your absence, she's reminded of the man she lost, not because you stopped loving her, but because you finally started respecting yourself. That realization cuts deeper than any argument ever could, because silence doesn't scream, it echoes. And those echoes will haunt her when the new men she meets fail to make her feel the same emotional depth you once offered so freely. Over time, she'll start to understand something most women never admit aloud. Losing a good man isn't just about losing affection, it's about losing emotional safety. You were the man who cared, even when she tested you, who stayed even when she pushed, who forgave even when she didn't deserve it. That kind of love doesn't just vanish, it lingers in her memory, woven into the silence you left behind. Every time another man fails to match your depth, your name echoes quietly in her thoughts, not because she wants you back, but because her soul recognizes what it lost. And that's when it hits her. The love she mistook for weakness was actually strength she'll never find again. But you're past that point. You no longer look back. You no longer replay conversations or wonder what if. The version of you that craved her understanding doesn't exist anymore. You've transcended the emotional loop entirely. Now you move differently. Your focus is sharper, your energy more refined. You're not cold, you're composed. You've learned that closure isn't something she gives, it's something you create through acceptance. You no longer need her to explain her actions because your peace no longer depends on her reasoning. The man who once begged for answers has become the man who simply doesn't need them, and that's what terrifies her the most. Your indifference is proof that she no longer matters. She'll try to distract herself from that truth, go out more, talk louder, act happier, but it's all noise meant to drown out the silence you left behind. Because deep down, she knows that no one's watching her like you did. No one's listening with patience. No one's noticing the small details that made her feel seen. And as much as she tries to convince herself she's moved on, the void remains. The emotional thrill of being adored by a man who truly cared can't be replaced by surface-level attention. You didn't just love her, you understood her. And now, that understanding is gone. The men who follow might entertain her ego, but they'll never touch her soul. You've reached the level of detachment where peace has replaced passion, where silence has replaced strategy. You don't respond to her games anymore because you see them for what they are. Attempts to reassert control over the man who escaped her emotional web. Every test she sends your way, every breadcrumb, every fake apology, every "I was just thinking about you" text, isn't about love, it's about power. But what she doesn't realize is that power only works when you give it attention. And your greatest evolution has been learning that not every invitation deserves a response. Sometimes, silence is not avoidance, it's sovereignty. You've become the kind of man who no longer needs to win her back because you already won yourself. As the months go by, she'll start to notice something strange. You're not the same man she left behind. You don't post to get attention. You don't engage in the petty back and forth. Your life seems fuller now, your presence heavier, your energy more refined. You've turned your heartbreak into high value. You've used the pain as fuel for purpose, and that's when the regret sets in, deep and irreversible. Because while she was out trying to replace you, you were outgrowing her. And the universe has a funny way of showing balance. When you finally stop chasing what's not meant for you, life sends you what is. While she looks backward, you're already walking forward into something greater. Here's the truth about regret. It doesn't hit her when she leaves. It hits her when she realizes you've outgrown her. When she sees that the man who once needed her validation now commands respect without her existence. That's when the weight of her decisions start pressing on her. Because women don't regret losing the version of you they left. They regret the version of you that your pain created. The stronger, calmer, more focused man who no longer craves external approval. The one who found purpose in silence. The one who smiles without resentment. The one who made peace look more attractive than chaos ever felt. That's the man she'll never forget. You'll eventually reach a point where you no longer want her to regret it. You won't care if she misses you, thinks of you, or even apologizes, because your peace will be too expensive to trade for emotional closure. You'll see the breakup not as a punishment, but as a promotion, a forced evolution that turned you into someone unstoppable. You'll stop replaying what went wrong and start appreciating what it taught you. Because pain, when processed, becomes perspective, and that perspective becomes power. The power to walk into any situation calm, confident, and untouchable. That's what she'll never understand. Your silence didn't destroy you, It rebuilt you into something she was never prepared to face. The irony is that when you finally stop caring, she'll come back. Not always physically, but energetically. She'll try to reconnect, test the waters, remind you of old memories, not because she loves you, but because she wants to feel that old power dynamic again. She wants to see if she still matters, but you'll be too far gone. You'll smile, be polite, even wish her well, but she'll see it in your eyes. The love is gone, not replaced by hate, not buried in pain, simply gone. That's when she'll truly feel the loss, because indifference isn't coldness, it's peace, and peace is the one thing her chaos can never conquer. So remember this, you never win by making her miss you, you win by mastering yourself. When you stop forcing her to feel your absence and instead become so centered that she can't access your energy anymore, that's when the game ends. You stop playing the role of the pursuer and become the prize. She'll remember you not because you begged for her attention, but because you withdrew it with grace. Not because you made her jealous, but because you made her realize that peace is more powerful than passion. And one day, when she's alone, scrolling through her past, she'll pause at your memory and it'll sting, because she'll know she'll never meet another man who walked away with quiet strength and never looked back. That, my friend, is how you win.